I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot when Jonathan Audi made these claims years ago. We all brushed it off as the ramblings of a madman. However, the latest revelations in Diddy's ongoing trial prove that he wasn't so mad after all these latest allegations from his sex slaves may have provoked Diddy into dropping the swinger angle and admitting to basically everything. Let's dive into the unraveling of Sean Diddy Combs, because this case just went from shocking to jaw-dropping. Jonathan Audi, a former adult film star, came forward claiming he was one of Diddy's sex slaves, alongside Cassie. He says he signed a non-disclosure agreement and got a $5 million payout from Combs. Initially, folks wrote him off, especially since his claims came after a wild 2018 arrest where he was involved in a shootout at Trump National Doral in Florida. But things are looking very different now. Cassie's sworn testimony in court this year appears to confirm much of what Audi said back then, lending credibility to what once sounded like wild, attention-seeking accusations. Now fast forward to May 2025. We're in a Manhattan federal courtroom, and one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop is fighting for his freedom. Diddy is facing intense charges: sex trafficking, racketeering, criminal conspiracy, and transporting people for prostitution. This isn't minor league legal trouble. This is the kind of case that could put him away for life. The trial began May 12th, and things got explosive fast. Prosecutors laid out a chilling picture of Combs as the head of a sex trafficking ring, using threats, manipulation, and violence to control women. At the heart of it all is Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend of 11 years, whose emotional and disturbing testimony shocked the courtroom. From May 13th to May 16th, Cassie spent nearly 20 hours on the witness stand. She walked the jury through her entire relationship with Diddy, from their first meeting in 2007 to the moment she decided to walk away. And it wasn't a relationship built on love. It was one built on dominance, control, and fear. She spoke about being manipulated at every level: what to wear, who to talk to, and where she could go. According to her, her job wasn't just to look good or sing. She claimed Diddy used her to organize and participate in sex encounters with others, something she never wanted to do. She testified about being humiliated, controlled, and forced to use drugs just to mentally escape from the horror of what was happening. That brings us to the now notorious freak-offs, a term central to the prosecution's case. Cassie described them as fueled, choreographed parties orchestrated by Diddy. She says he made her sleep with male escorts while he watched. This reportedly happened hundreds of times, often while she was under the influence of substances just to cope. Let's pause right there. That's not some bedroom fantasy or consensual experimentation. That's psychological and emotional masked behind wealth and celebrity. It's calculated exploitation. And if you're thinking, but why didn't she leave? Cassie answered that in court too. She said Diddy used fear and physical violence to keep her in line. Leaving wasn't just scary, it was dangerous. In fact, the prosecution showed a 2016 hotel hallway video that CNN released in 2024. In it, Diddy can be seen physically attacking Cassie, choking her, slamming her to the ground, and kicking her while she was down. That wasn't an isolated outburst. Cassie says it was one of many instances, and the footage is hard proof. Even more harrowing, she testified that Diddy raped her in 2018, after their relationship had ended. Her pain was raw. She broke down multiple times while recounting the trauma she endured. Now Diddy's legal team is scrambling. Led by attorney Mark Agnafuilo, they're spinning a narrative that all the encounters were consensual and part of an alternative lifestyle. They even dug up old messages where Cassie seemed enthusiastic about the experiences. But let's be real. When someone has complete control over your life, your money, your image, your safety, of course you're going to play along. That's not consent. That's survival. It's like blaming someone for not screaming when there's a gun to their head. Cassie isn't the only one telling her truth. Dawn Richard, former member of Danity Kane in Diddy Dirty Money, testified on May 16th. She said she personally witnessed Diddy physically Cassie, including a 2009 incident at a Los Angeles hotel. That backs up Cassie's account and shows a pattern of repeated abuse, not a one-off situation. A male escort also testified, confirming that he was paid to have with Cassie while Diddy observed. That lines up with the claims of those freak-offs. And then there's Special Agent Yasin Binda, who testified about Diddy's September 2024 arrest at a Midtown hotel. What was found? About $9,000 in cash, illegal drugs, and, believe it or not, baby oil and other personal supplies Cassie had mentioned during her testimony. Coincidence? Hard to believe. Now let's talk money, because there are layers to this. Cassie settled her civil lawsuit against Diddy in 2023 for $20 million. Audi says he got $5 million. Diddy's defense is trying to use those settlements to suggest the victims are just chasing a payday. But prosecutors argue these payouts are proof of a cover-up. If Diddy is innocent, why all the hush money? Why drop tens of millions to silence people if you have nothing to hide? Cassie also recently secured a $10 million settlement from Intercontinental Hotel, the same one where that brutal 2016 assault was caught on camera. Hotel staff reportedly stood by and did nothing while she was attacked. That lawsuit claimed the hotel turned a blind eye, and the payout suggests someone agrees. One of the most emotional moments of Cassie's testimony came when she talked about therapy. She said she's been undergoing EMDR, a treatment specifically used for processing severe trauma and PTSD. That's not something you fake. That's real pain, and she had the strength to share it with the world. Now let's zero in again on these freak-offs. According to court testimony, they were global, held in various cities and countries, not just behind closed doors in New York or LA. That detail is crucial for the federal trafficking charges because it involves crossing state and international lines. These weren't random encounters. They were, according to prosecutors, highly choreographed and controlled by Combs like a director on a film set. Cassie said Diddy gave orders like he was staging a music video, telling people where to stand, what to do, and how to perform. And there are disturbing whispers that he may have recorded these events to use as leverage, possibly blackmail, to keep everyone quiet. That hasn't been confirmed in court yet, but if true, it could explain why so many stayed silent for so long. Lastly, the issue of drugs looms large in this case. Prosecutors allege Combs routinely used illegal narcotics to keep participants obedient. Substances like cocaine, ketamine, oxycodone, and methamphetamine. The claim? These weren't parties. They were psychological traps set with pharmaceuticals. If all of this turns out to be true, we're not just looking at the fall of a music mogul. We're looking at a system of manipulation, coercion, and control that ran far deeper than anyone realized.